Hello everyone, welcome back to In Hand Automation. In the last episode, we learned something very important. We learned that getting better answer from AI is not about finding a better AI. It is about asking a better question to AI, right? So by giving correct role, correct context, correct task, constraint, and expected output, we were able to generate much better test cases. Our Rahul was getting satisfied with the response what AI was responding. So after getting the response and satisfied with the response, but later on Rahul started thinking. He asked himself, why am I using AI only after I receive the requirement? Once the requirement is received, why we are thinking about to use the AI? What if AI could help me to understand the requirement before even I start writing the test cases? And that's exactly what today's topic is about. Today we are going to see how AI can become your requirement review partner. So let's start the today's topic with this. We have one user story where we'll be using that user story to convert into a prompt and we'll proceed further with that. So the story says a registered customer can transfer money to another customer using the mobile banking application. Okay. The customer must enter the recipient account number and transfer amount. And if the transfer is successful, the account balance should be updated. Now, what happens? That is the three lines of user story we have. Now, Rahul reads this story, and normally he would start writing the test cases, right? But this time, what we will do? We are going to use the AI as a review partner, right? So, good QA engineer don't immediately write the test cases. Firstly, they will understand the requirement, and based on that, they will write the test case. So this time, instead of understanding the requirement by the own, Rahul asked AI to review the requirement. So what Rahul asked to AI, he simply write, review this requirement. And AI replies, the requirement looks fine. Okay. So in this case, Rahul just saw the response and he was like smiling. Then he later on realized he asked a very weak question because the question was review this requirement. And AI says, yeah, requirement looks good. So now he asked very weak question. That's why he got this answer from the AI. Then he remind the terminology, the technique which we used in last episode, which is prompt engineering or prompting technique. So in the second part, he asked the right question to AI. What Rahul wrote, act as a senior QA engineer, review this requirement and identify the business ambiguity, missing acceptance criteria, missing validation, security concerns, boundary condition, and questions that should be clarified with the product owner or developer. And do not assume missing functionality. If something is not mentioned in the story, list it as a clarification. Now, this prompt looks good, right, guys? This is following our framework which we discussed in the last episode. We have the role, we have the context, we have the task, we have the constraint, and we have the output type as well, and what format we want. We want a list of clarification. Now, AI started asking the questions, and those questions were not even Rahul considered that AI will ask me the question if I'll give the requirement. So that's where AI started finding the gaps. Now AI finds requirement gap and AI come up with the questions like what is the minimum transfer amount? Because that is not mentioned in our user story. Nothing is mentioned about the minimum transfer amount. The next question was what is the maximum transfer amount? Nothing was declared about this. Can the user transfer money to their own account? No specification about this. What happens if the destination account does not exist? We don't have this criteria in user story, right? So all these questions were not clarified in the user story. That's why AI came up with. AI is not assuming anything by their own. He is coming up with the question, and this question you guys can take and ask to your product owner. Like, do we have any criteria around these questions, or do we have any criteria around these queries? So Rahul looks at this list and he realized like these are not the test cases for sure, but these are looks like a requirement gaps to me. And this is what exactly, if we are not taking care before writing the test cases, will become a defect in the testing environment. So that's how the AI is finding a requirement gaps for you now. Now, Rahul, learn another lesson today. Requirement contains a fact, right? AI sometimes fills those missing information with assumption, but QA engineer should not confuse assumption with requirement. For example, AI says the transfer limit is probably $10,000. Then Rahul asks, where did that come from? Is it mentioned anywhere in the requirement? So AI responds, it is not in the requirement. I assume based on the common practice. This is why the requirement validation is still Rahul's responsibility or QA engineer's responsibility. AI can identify the missing information. AI should not invent the business rule, but okay. So QA engineers' responsibility and QA engineers' jobs are still alive here because AI may hallucinate. So that's why we guys are learning the AI so that we can do a collab with AI and do some better job in the future aspects. So let's move to the next topic, which talks about AI as a second reviewer. Now, what happens? Rahul changed his workflow, right? Instead of asking AI to replace him, he asked AI to review his work. Rahul first reviewed the requirement by himself and he writes 10 clarification questions. Then he asks AI to review the same requirement. AI suggests another 12 questions. Rahul compare both of the list. Some questions overlap, some are really new. So together, Rahul now has a much stronger understanding of the feature. AI did not replace Rahul here. AI become a second reviewer. AI become a helping hand to the Rahul. AI become a second mind to the Rahul. That's a much healthier way to use AI, right? So, building a requirement review checklist is must if we are doing a requirement check. What happens? Rahul noticed that almost every requirement can be reviewed using the same categories. He create a simple checklist. And what are those checklists are? First is business rule, then we have functional rule, then we have input output validations, we have boundary value validations, we have error handling, security, performance expectation, notification, audit logs, user performance, sorry, user permission, recovery scenarios, accessibility, localization, compatibility. So now whenever Rahul receives a requirement, he gives AI this checklist. AI review every category one by one instead of asking one generic questions. Now Rahul now gets a structured review from the AI. So you guys can also take a note of this list while giving your requirement. Along with your requirement, you can give this checklist to your AI assistant, and in the result, you will be getting a better outcome and you will be getting a better reviewed requirement from the AI side. So let's compare two engineers now. Okay. The first QA engineer receive a requirement, immediately start writing a test cases, finds a bug during the testing, but the second QA engineer spent 15 minutes of reviewing the requirement, find missing business rule before development even starts. Okay. Which approach save more time? Usually, the earlier we identify a misunderstanding, the cheaper it is to fix. This is why the requirement analysis is one of the highest value activities in the software testing. And AI can make this process even fastest and more structured. So Rahul also learned what AI should never do. So AI should not approve the requirement. AI should not decide the business rule. AI should not replace the discussion with the product owner. AI should not become the final authority. Business decision belongs to the people. AI help Rahul think better. Rahul is still on the final decision. So these are the things what AI should not do. And for that, we will be writing a constraint. So in the constraint, we will be giving a do not assume anything. So that's where the AI will not decide the business rule. So all these things will come under the constraint. Now, Rahul creates one reusable prompt. Okay. So what is that reusable prompt? We'll see. Here we have. So what is the prompt? Act as a senior QA, review the following requirement. And as we discussed last time, right? We have this context here, and with the context, we have the list of checklist. Business ambiguities, what are the missing acceptance criteria, boundary condition, validation, security concern, performance concern, question for the product owner. So all these things we want from the AI now. And do not assume the missing functionality and return the result in a table with category, observation, risk, and recommended questions. Now, when we will give this prompt to AI, we will be getting a far better output than earlier. And you can take that result and response from the AI and you can ask those questions to the product owners and get it reviewed or get it resolved. So, what we learned today, we learned that AI is not only useful for generating the test case. Sometimes the best use of AI is before testing even begins, right? We learn how AI can review the requirement. We learn how AI can find the ambiguities in business. We learn how AI can suggest the clarification questions, how AI can highlight the missing validations, how AI can identify the boundary conditions, point out the security concerns, and also act as a second reviewer for QA engineer. Most importantly, we learned that AI should help QA engineer think more deeply, not think less. So now Rahul has a clear requirement. The product owner has answered all the questions. Okay. Whatever the questions clarification came from AI, Rahul asked those questions to product owner and he has the answer of all those questions. The business rules are finalized now. Now Rahul is ready for the next step to writing the test cases. But instead of manually writing every scenarios, what Rahul want? Rahul wants AI to help him to create those test cases. He want AI to create the positive scenarios, negative scenarios, boundary scenarios, edge cases, risk-based scenario, API security, and many more. So in the next episode, we are going to learn how QA engineer can use AI to generate the high quality test cases while still keeping the human validation at the center of process. So I'll see you in the episode 6. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video and you are following the AI for QA engineer series, don't forget to subscribe the in hand automation and stay tuned with us for the next episode. I'll see you in the next episode. Till the time, keep learning, keep automating.